Welcome to a new week of VLGA Connect episodes where we hope to cover a broad range of issues impacting on the local government sector across Victoria. And our first episode this week takes us to Mansfield Shire, where we speak with the Mayor, Councillor Marg Attley. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Good morning to you, Chris, and thank you for doing these sessions. They are fantastic for the sector.
Oh, thank you. They're a bit of fun to put together too, I must admit, but at a time when it's really important for people to hear the stories that are coming out of local government around the state. And I've been keen to talk with you about how things are going in Mansfield, because not only are you, as everyone else is dealing with the pandemic, it's come hard on the heels of a bushfire emergency in your part of the world as well. So you must feel like everything's stacked against you there at the moment.
Well, yes, I suppose so for local government, but I think what we feel for is our community and the indirect effect it's had on our businesses and, you know, life as usual. So it started on January 1 and short reprieve when we had visitors coming and staying here and getting things back to sort of normal, and now we're in a different life.
Yes, it's a new version of normal, I guess, for the time being, isn't it? I did see you took an interesting step a week or so ago in issuing a joint letter to the community with a number of local establishments. What was the story behind the need for that?
I think it was a letter of solidarity, really, bringing the pharmacies, the hospital, the supermarkets and all the, you know, frontline, we've got two medical centres as well. So, and the police, the whole community, that just the importance of us all working together and supporting our frontline services, in particular, you know, the hard work that's being done by our businesses to try and keep afloat. So, you know, just a bit of solidarity, and before Easter when everyone really wanted to socialise and couldn't. So I think it was a really good letter.
Was there some elements of concern that people weren't taking the physical distancing requirements seriously, or was it just about that risk that over Easter that the temptation might be too great?
Yes, I think you're right with that, Chris, but I think there was a bit of movement here and a bit of discussion around, you know, why are people coming to their holiday houses? You know, other states aren't allowing that. What is the message, and a bit of confusion there. But I think it was just about, you know, we're really proud with the way Mansfield Shire have dealt with this and listened to the messages and worked together. We're really proud about that. So I suppose, yes, leading into a time that is usually the busiest time for Mansfield was a difficult thing for us to come to terms with.
I apologise, I meant to check before we recorded on whether you have had any cases of COVID-19 in Mansfield Shire.
There were 3.
You've had 3. Okay, so small number, and you hopefully would want that number to stay where it is now.
Yep, and everyone's working, you know, as they are across Australia, to work through that, you know, a difficult time, an unusual time for us all. So,
what's the feeling you're getting from the community at the moment post-Easter, Marg? Is there some optimism that things might be getting back to normal before too long, or?
I would think that would be the case. I haven't had a huge amount of conversations with people since Easter, and I think, you know, things are still moving. The shops that are open, the ones that can be open. You know, some of our hospitality businesses are just being so creative with their takeaway and taking it out to small towns, which is just a fantastic thing for them to do.
So from a local government perspective, everyone's obviously dealing with budgets at the moment and trying to make that decision about how do we respond, what are the longer term impacts going to be. A lot of unknowns there. I know you've taken the path of putting your draft budget out for consultation now. How difficult a process did you find that, Marg, as a council to come to a budget position at this time?
I think it's been pretty seamless. Our staff have worked tirelessly, working from home. I think they could probably just concentrate really on the budget and, the ones in the finance department. And so much work for our budget was done prior to this. We started back in November with listening to the community. They came to talk to us about their aspirations. So there was a really good, strong start with that. And I think the importance for us is, you know, to try and get some major projects happening, the renewal of our roads and things like that, just so that does generate that optimism that you talked about before, but also the local employment, and try and keep things moving. So our budget was right on track before the minister announced the extension. So we thought we'd keep going with it, but there are parts of it that obviously we won't be able to do as well as in the past, and that's the community engagement part, because we've got 48% of our residents are non-residents, like part-time holiday places. We usually have a meeting in Nunawading every year at budget time and meet with them. Well, we can't do that. But we've actually sent a letter to them directly. We really want people's support online or in writing or, email.
So have you thought about how you will deal with that submission process that you would normally be able to do in a council meeting environment with people present?
Well, last week when we had our meeting together to talk about the endorsement of the budget and the public going out to the public, we talked about maybe thinking about using one of our venues. We're not really lucky to have lots of venues, but we have a performing arts centre which seats about 220 people, which would enable social distancing if we were to have it there. And that's really the discussion we're having now. That will be the end of May. So hopefully at that time, people can wait outside in their cars and come in when it's their turn. And we did a meeting about 2 months ago in that way, where people came in when it was their time, or everyone sat separately across the auditorium, which we're looking at for the end of May. So I'm hoping that can happen. There's nothing like listening to people, full on about that.
And you've got your economic development strategy out too, I noticed. Now, that's obviously been a long time in the making and would not have envisaged the impacts that were coming from a pandemic. So you're looking for some input on that too?
Oh, definitely. And I think it's a critical time to hear from. I know it's a difficult thing for businesses to be talking about now and the future, but I think it's absolutely critical that our businesses and all the community actually give some feedback to this document, because we want something in place that's really going to help the community across the next 5 years, which are going to be hard.
Virtual council meetings might be possible very shortly, Marg. Do you have a view on that? Will your council embrace that opportunity?
Well, we're already having meetings, our briefings on Zoom, which is really tiring, which is an interesting thing to think. I mean, I find it really easy to sit through a 6-hour briefing in the chambers. It just, I don't know, it's different when you're face to face with people. You can actually indicate, know what they're feeling and who wants to speak, and there's just a different connection that you do online. But we've got a meeting tomorrow night, our ordinary council meeting, which I think we definitely have a quorum, so we'll be going ahead. We've had 2 special meetings in person over the last couple of months. One of them was to increase the delegations for the CEO, which was really important. So we did that at the end of March. So I've been really quite, adamant that this should happen, and I understand the difficult processes. But across the sector, the mayors have been connecting through the MAV. Have had a really successful meeting about 2 months ago, or a month ago, bringing through all the mayors across the area. And I'm also on the local government ministerial advisory panel, so mayoral advisory panel. So we've met twice, and that's been really excellent for everyone to talk through all the issues that they're facing. And the sentiments are the same, actually. Sector, everyone, like many councils, haven't met. So I'm pleased that we've had the councillors have made a decision to come, but I don't think councillors should be put in that position to try to make that decision. I don't think it's fair. They've been elected by their community and they want to serve their community. So it is really hard for them to make a decision not to come to a council meeting. Yeah,
absolutely. So, and I think the point you make about it being perhaps more tiring in a video conferencing sense, particularly for you as mayor, when you're chairing a meeting, you have to be fully concentrating every second of the time to try and manage what's going on with all of your individuals that are involved in that. So it is very different, isn't it?
Yes, and looking at a screen too. I mean,
yeah.
You know, we're probably not, some people are good at doing it, but, you know, I probably don't have the attention span to be staring at a screen for that length of time. I'm a people person and I like to be with the people and engaging, talking about, so.
Yeah. So I know the VLGA is involved in contributing to the guidance that's going to be prepared for the conducting of those meetings. Marg, there's a lot of talk around the whole country about the impact of COVID-19 on staffing numbers in local government. We're seeing staff being stood down. We're seeing lots of redeployment. What's the impact on staff been like at Mansfield?
I'm very impressed with the way the CEO has worked with the staff right from the beginning to, keep business continuity, try and support our staff to work from home, but then redeploy them to things that are really essential services that we have to run. So I'm more than pleased with that. And I just think it's been fantastic to see how the community and council can work together at this time, and the real importance of local government's role. We are at the forefront to keep these services going to our communities.
What's your observation on how the sector more broadly is handling this issue? Because different councils are taking different approaches to that issue.
That's right. That's right. It's a really difficult thing to do. I'm pleased with the message I'm getting from the small rural councils. I think they're doing very well. Well, I'm not saying very well, but managing it to the best of their capabilities at this time. But I am really disappointed from a sector and, state and national level that not one person has come out and just said, I think, just to acknowledge the importance that local government has played in this, that we are at the forefront and we've kept the things going. People's bins are being collected, which is crucial. Our parks and gardens people are still working, our roads are still working, people on the roads are still working. And the crucial things like Meals on Wheels and our home and community care programs are continuing. So, I think it'd be great for someone sometime to just say, thank you, local government. Not that local government does it for the thanks, but I just think it is important.
I think our internet's getting a little choppy, Marg, so that's probably a good point to wind up. It's great to speak with you. All the very best. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Chris.
We've been speaking with Marg Attley, the Mayor of the Shire of Mansfield, a former President of the VLGA and long-term board member. We'd like to hear from you. If you have suggestions for stories for VLGA Connect or would like to be part of a future episode, please drop us an email to vlga@vlga.org.au, and we'll look forward to having you with us for future episodes of VLGA Connect.